Against each of the nominal codes within the chart of accounts is the option for you to be able to add in the SORP categories. Okay, so in order for you to sort of record the statement of recommended practice and produce those KPIs and the results that you need for the reporting, we have them at the account level. Here's one of the nominal account codes. And in here, first of all, the account itself is a sort of a general funds account that becomes nested within a donations and subscriptions restricted funds account. But also on the right hand side, there's two different types of the SORP categories. One we have for Oxford, which comes as part of the system, and we have the listings for Cambridge as well. And here we've got the Cambridge cost of charitable activities as category 1, and the category 2 for Cambridge as well, which is the donations and subscriptions. I'm going to be using these for some of the examples within the reports today. And by having them sort of the categories here, I've just sort of nested those within each other for the purposes of the report, so that we start to get a breakdown with the charitable activities as the top level, and then any of the additional category 2s below it. So there's a full listing of the accounts that we have, and again, those would be part of the deployment for NetSuite. By having the accounts here, as I say, it's associated to this nominal account code, which means that anywhere in NetSuite where you're posting to that account code will then be able to take along the attributes that are associated to this account code. So don't need any of the users to be entering other analysis against the sort of journals or transaction line information. It's just inherently there because it's associated to the nominal account code. So it always gets tracked where you're using the account code. Okay, so we don't miss it out on the reporting. So I'm just going to show a couple of reports and the way that you may want to be able to extract the data. I'll open up some of the reports that you would get familiar with, which are the sort of standard suite of reports. And here you can see, as I said, about that sort of hierarchy that gets created. So as the postings are made against these nominal account codes, this tree starts to expand and the groupings within them as well, so that I've got category 1 as my header, and then categories 2 below that. And then if the category 3s were used, then those also become nested underneath the category 2s. Okay, so then we start to see the balances. And with any of the other reports, you define the date ranges that you want to view this data for, any other restrictions that you want to pull in, fund types, etc. on here, or any particular SORP restrictions. But otherwise, you can pull the data out as it is. This data can be exported, as it can on any of the other reports, out into Excel as well for you to be able to review. So it's a very intuitive, easy way of being able to review the information. Maybe a slight different way in which to view the data. Again, one of the reporting tools within NetSuite, slightly different view here where it's been broken out. I've got the SORP category 1 and 2 as before. So we can see here cost of charitable activities, and then within that, donations and subscriptions, residence and catering, etc. But then group that by the fund number. So you're now breaking down those SORP categories by the fund. And then to further analyze that data, it's then been split out by the fund type. So I've got restricted, designated, and general in this particular report that gives me each of those values with the totals, either as a subtotal of the donations and subscriptions, or each of the rows, as it were, on here. Okay, so again, because we're looking at all of the financial dimensions to record your data, it makes it nice and straightforward to be able to use those and create the breakdown that we need against those categories.